Happy Monday, everyone. It'd be great if I actually stood in front of the camera. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by See-Through Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractors Show, as well as Atlas Roofing. Thank you guys for sponsoring our videos. So let's get right into our weather headlines. We did have an active day as expected yesterday, so we're going to recap a few things that occurred with yesterday's activity, as well as jumping into what is going on actually right now, as well as we get into this afternoon and evening up into the Ohio Valley and the lower Great Lakes region. And then as we get into the second half of our work week, we could see some more severe weather and a multi-day event with this. So we'll talk about that as well. So here is yesterday's activity. Most of it was in fact wind, but we did have some hail and a few tornadoes in there as well. So there were strong winds and hail that occurred from Kansas down into most of Oklahoma, down into parts of western Texas, eastward into parts of western Arkansas. Some, again, really strong winds, which we did anticipate did occur across this area. And we did have a good swath of anywhere from 75 to 85 miles per hour occur. We even had some stronger wind gusts. The highest one, which I'll show you in just a second, again, up to golf ball size hail did occur with some of the strongest storms in this area. The strongest wind gust recorded was 114 miles per hour in Memphis, Texas. So it got extremely windy with this system as it moved across the Central Plains. And even after the storms moved on through, we dealt with severe wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour behind those storms. And unfortunately, we did have a few tornadoes as well, and a few of those were on the stronger side. So we do have our wind maps and all that up on our site for you guys to purchase if you haven't done so already. So here are yesterday's storm reports. Again, lots of blue dots here. A lot of wind reports came in from Kansas down to Texas, eastward across Missouri and western Arkansas. Can zoom on in here and you can see all those wind reports. And we did again have some hail reports come in as well. And then a few tornadoes occurred across Oklahoma and near the Oklahoma-Texas border, as well as into southwestern Kansas. So it was a busy day last night. Now looking at our current conditions across the lower 48, that system that brought us severe weather yesterday is now in the Ohio Valley and in the lower Great Lakes region. We have a watch out for this afternoon across Indiana, and we also have a few warnings out as well across central Indiana. And you can see that low pressure is just spinning here, and it's situated right now in central Illinois, and that's going to continue to push off to the east. And now on the cold side, we are once again dealing with more snow and mixed precipitation. That is the pink here. And of course, the snow is in white, and that's dumping some heavier snow up there from Michigan upwards into parts of northern Wisconsin and into Minnesota. And then we have another storm system once again bringing some more rain and snow in the western part of the U.S., and that does of course include California. And this will be our next weather maker that we will be watching as we get into the middle of the week. Zooming back out and taking a look at our temperatures, comfortable as we go down south, 66 in Atlanta, 83 in Miami. That warm weather continues to stretch westward into the Central Plains, but we go northward and into the colder part of the system. It's only 32 in Minneapolis. It's still pretty comfortable in Fort Wayne. It's at 53, but expect those temperatures to drop as this system moves on through. And then what it feels like out there, so that's what this is basically our wind chills with that wind adding in with our temperatures. Again, pretty comfortable for the central part, as well as getting down into the southern part of the country. But you go into the northern part of the U.S., those temperatures are relatively cold, or what they feel like actually are only in the upper 20s. So taking a look at our future radar, this is the wide shot. You can see the storm system will continue to push off to the east as we get into the rest of today. So this is at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, dumping a lot of heavy snow and some mixed precipitation in the northeast. And that severe risk will go eastward as well. And then we also still have that next system out west, once again giving us some more rain and snow out there. And then getting into tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon, more snow is expected with another disturbance in the northern part of the U.S. And then as we get into Tuesday and into Wednesday, this system will slowly start to track eastward, and that's when we have to watch for the potential of severe weather for the middle of our week into the end of our work week. So let's zoom on into the severe risk for today. We do have some severe storms again going on right now in central Indiana. So if you're going under a warning, especially if there's a tornado warning, which if you just saw a few moments ago, there was one that popped up in the north, or the northern eastern part of your screen. Make sure you take your severe weather precautions. And that severe weather will continue to track off to the east as we get into this afternoon. This is at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. You can see it, those isolated storms will continue to fire up here in Ohio. We could get some marginally severe hail out of that, as well as some severe wind gusts, and a tornado or two cannot be ruled out. And then getting into this evening, we could see some heavier storms as far south as North Carolina, although I think the best threat for severe weather will once again be as far east as West Virginia. And then getting into the overnight hours, that rain will push off to the east, and we should start to see some quieter conditions as we wake up tomorrow morning. So here is today's hail forecast. Again, the hail shouldn't be too large today, mostly up to quarter size. An isolated $50 stone or two is not out of the question, but basically from Cincinnati westward to Indianapolis, eastward across most of Ohio, as far north as Cleveland, we can see overall quarter-size hail across this area with those strongest storms. And then with our wind, up to 60-mile-per-hour gusts are possible with those strongest storms, and once again, a tornado or two cannot be ruled out. So basically, some of the same areas as with what we saw with the hail, as well as further south here in parts of Kentucky, Louisville, you can get a 60-mile-per-hour gust today with those strongest storms as they continue to push off to the east. Then as we get into tomorrow, it should be a quiet day, as the system that we're dealing with today will be pushing off the coast as we get into tomorrow. So tomorrow looks to be quiet, but as we saw, we have a system right now that is off the coast of California. Basically what this one that we're dealing with right now did over the weekend, and that one will be impacting us starting on Wednesday. So here's our jet stream. We have the shortwave trough in the northeast that's bringing the severe weather in the Ohio Valley and the lower Great Lakes region. That will push off the coast as we get into tomorrow. And then here we go. We got that next trough coming on Thursday, starting to dig as we get into Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday, getting into Thursday, it starts to dig even more. And it's kind of just taking its jolly old time. So we could see some of the same areas get some severe weather as we get Wednesday into Thursday, and then getting to Friday. You can see that low really starts to deepen, and we could see some severe weather here in the southeast, and that will lift off as we get into Sunday or Saturday morning, So we're going to jump ahead now to Thursday. These are our dew points as we wake up Thursday morning. This is at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. A lot of moisture will start to return in the southern part of the U.S. And as we get into Thursday evening, you can see that dry line starting to fire up here. And then as we get into Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday into Friday, that moisture will continue to stream on up in here, and we could see a risk here in the southeast as we get into Friday. So we have all of that moisture present. So basically Wednesday through Friday across the south and then into the southeast, we will be watching for that. So here is our Wednesday. Lots of instability once again returning to the southern part of the U.S. We'll be watching you guys in Dallas very carefully. And then as we go from Wednesday into Thursday, you can see that instability not really moving a whole lot. So some of the same areas, like I said, as we go from Wednesday into Thursday, could see that severe weather. And then getting from Thursday afternoon and getting into Thursday night, that activity will push off to the east into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas, and then we'll wake up on Wednesday or Friday morning with still some instability here in parts of Alabama, starting to enter into Georgia and the panhandle of Florida. And we could see a risk here on Friday, basically from Atlanta southward to the panhandle of Florida. So again, it's going to possibly be a few busy days here, not just today, but as we get into Wednesday through Friday. So let's break it on down in terms of the locations as of right now of what we're thinking. This is for Wednesday. It's basically just to the east of Dallas, eastward to most of Arkansas, down to northern Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, northward to Tennessee. And then as we get into our Thursday, again, some of those same areas we will be watching for the potential of severe weather. This will include, it looks like as of right now, Dallas. If you guys are in the Dallas area, start doing your hail dances. So a pretty large area here for Thursday. And then as we get into our Friday, that risk will shift to the east, and this does include Atlanta, Birmingham, Alabama, eastward to the Carolinas, and northward to areas such as Knoxville, Tennessee. So I know that was a mouthful. It's going to be a busy week. It's only February and things are already getting amped up. So if you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as our TikTok page. We do go live on Facebook and TikTok when things get a little bit crazy. We were on there last night. So again, make sure you follow us on these platforms. If you have any questions, concerns, if you just want to say hi, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday.